The cashew nut industry is based in the northern province of Nampula. Antonio Miranda is a Mozambican who's become an entrepreneur. He was an executive with Coca-Cola before setting up his own business.
Probably I need challenges, and cashew nut was available, was something I got interesting to. And money-wise, for the construction of the factory was done with my own money, my savings.
Cashew nuts have been grown in this part of the world for hundreds of years. In the 1970s, Mozambique produced more cashews than any other country. But by the 90s, the industry had collapsed when the World Bank, in its drive against protectionism, persuaded the government to abolish an export tax on raw nuts. The nuts went abroad to be processed in India. The industry's recent revival owes a lot to Tecnoserve, an American NGO funded by the US government through US aid.
We arrived only 10 years ago, which may seem like a long time, but in cashew terms, perhaps not that long. And at the time, the industry was in kind of a crisis. And what we wanted to do, or what we did do, is to take a business approach and say, can this industry be competitive? And the answer was yes.
Tecnoserve wanted to encourage new investors to come in and open processing factories. Miranda was the first to work with them.
The focus of our intervention was on worker training, management training, introducing technology, and basically the same technology as India and Vietnam.
The industry is labor-intensive, so it creates a large number of jobs. 1,500 people work in this factory, but absenteeism is high and productivity is lower than in other countries. The minimum wage is $55 a month.
I agree that the government puts a minimum wage and the people need to get money to do a decent living. But the cashew nut is not an attractive business to pay huge salaries. It's just not.
Miranda and the other cashew nut processors buy almost all their nuts on the local market from more than 100,000 small farmers like Melito Maciel. Some of his trees are old and don't produce anymore. Others were destroyed in the recent cyclone.
Praticamente cajueiros aqui nos tempos eram volta de 100 plantas, da ponta até na ponta. Mas agora as outras plantas já estão crescidas, não produzem. Que produzem são volta de uns 40, 45.
Melito couldn't afford to buy new plants, but now he's been given some in compensation for those he lost in the cyclone. He won't earn money from the new trees for several years.
Isso, semear, plantar até crescer. 2 anos e meio. O terceiro ano começa a produzir. Então, esse espaço dos 3 anos é longo para nós que sobrevivemos para isso. É muito longe.
The success of the cashew industry in creating jobs in rural areas has lessons for other parts of the Mozambican economy.
Production reached 100,000 tons this year. It's a spectacular success. And it's a spectacular success because it has done everything that the World Bank said you are not supposed to do. It has protection for the sector. You can't export unprocessed, unshelled nuts early in the season. It has subsidized credit. Now, this is how you build an industry in Mozambique. This could be replicated in a huge number of sectors.